Yo, hello everyone. Two live streams at the same time? Hopefully not. But yes, for you guys who basically seamlessly came over here from the second channel, welcome. For everyone who's joined in fresh on the main channel, well, welcome to you too. So what I did today and yesterday on the other channel, which is featured on the channel page, Tom's 3D Live, which was to convert this guy back to its no sound. What? No, we have sound. Was to convert this guy back to its stock configuration, so it has the original MKS based board in it. It prints really well. Where did I put the print? Did I drop this guy? Where did I put it? Anyways, if you want to see the print, you can check that out on the other channel at the end there. I just had it. Seriously, this stream is not starting off well. There it is. Fluorescent orange holiday or Easter benchy. This guy is still printing really well, especially on lower layer heights. This is 0.15mm layers, and it looks pretty glorious. But the important thing today is this. Yes, you can see the DHL logo in the background. This is the Atom 2.0 dual extrusion upgrade. This video is set to private. Holy shit. That's why nobody's here. Thanks for the tip. Why is this set to unlisted? That's why nobody's seeing it. Holy crap, I'm wondering, like, chat is super slow. Now this should work. I'm hoping this is still sending out the notifications. Shit. Should we just start over? I don't know. Anyways, everyone who came here from social media, yeah, you're the true heroes. Okay, now chat is starting to pour in. Anyways, everyone who's not following me on Twitter, well, you're late. You're definitely late. But yeah, upgrade this guy to the dual extrusion set. Let's go. So this is the official, obviously the official Atom 3D upgrade kit with the logo in there, and that just scratched the box, but nobody cares about the box anyways. This is the official upgrade kit. This has a Y-splitter type dual extrusion setup in here. So we're getting two extruders. We're getting a second extruder for the frame up here, I'm assuming, and we are also getting a Y-splitter type hotend assembly thing. So that's happening there. 33 people. Still not a lot of people here. Just double check that this went out correctly. Okay, I'm not seeing stats. Whatever. Intro stream video. What? Intro stream? Where? Over on the other one? In a different one? But I don't want to stop this stream right now. Yeah, just let him know. Post the... Well, you can post the URL. Just let him know to check the main channel. I don't think it should be too many people. There's only like 1,500 people subscribed to that, to the Tom's 3D Live channel, so it should not be too many people that are stuck over there. Yeah, I think I started streaming to the wrong channel, unfortunately. Just put this on your Twitter. We're getting a second spool mount. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Let's check again here. So it looks like stream is warming up, or at least chat is warming up slowly. Live dashboard. Oh crap, why did I close that? But yeah, upgrade, stream found, right stream. Yes, this is the right stream. Everyone who's here, 1 out of 10 people. Okay, I guess people will find their way over here. Cool. Let's just get to it then. Line Risa, one of the last super chat tips I'm gonna take. Thanks for the £5. Just FYI, super chat. This is probably gonna be the last stream that has super chat enabled. because it's sort of, it's like, super chat is not great for creators. Yes, it's nicely integrated into chat, so I have chat open on the TV right there anyways, but YouTube takes 30% of that. So yeah, that's like a straight up, 30% cut just for YouTube. You only get 70, and like the other stream tip services give you 100% less, maybe PayPal fees, etc. So I will be switching over to Streamlabs soon. Probably. Right, let's check out what we have here. Let's stop the jabbering about and get to it. So these are two things that we're getting here. These are two more or less independent parts. So the first one is the end stop upgrade kit. This guy has a set of, here we go, a set of optical end stops. So these are the light barrier style, end stops. And Adam is saying these give you better precision over, I should re-enable color correction. These give you better precision over the mechanical ones that are in here right now. The thing is though that we're only getting 3, so that must be for just the pillars X, Y, Z of the printer itself, and not for the actual hot end, for the actual probing action. We'll see. That's optional. I don't think we need this for the dual extrusion to work. So let's check this out and let's re-enable color correction real quick on this guy. Filters, color correction. There we go. I had that turned off because this orange just gets blasted to bits if I enable the color correction there. But it just looks better that way. Do you need precise end stops? I don't think so, actually. I don't think it makes that much of a difference, especially when it's just like the homing switches up here. Okay, one spool holder. This is pretty much, well, this looks like pretty much the same spool holder that's on here already. There you go. Atom logo, laser engraved, plus a skateboard bearing right down there. Right here. That's actually, yes, that is a 608. That is a 608 skateboard bearing. And a second one. There you go, same thing. I'm guessing we're gonna stack these somehow. Let me check viewer numbers again. 164, this does not look right. Let's see how many people make it over. Right, Atom Mark III with 0.4 millimeter nozzle. So this is the hot end upgrade, I think. Let's see. Fidget spool spinner. I can't quite grab it. But yeah, that does work. That totally does work. Watch live on props and 3D printing. See, that's another stream. That's the wrong stream. Audio gone. Yes, I'm seeing that audio is gone. Audio is back. This is one of those streams that just doesn't start well. I don't know if it's a foreshadowing or something, but... Right. So this is the new hotend, which actually looks a lot like the old hotend. And it's a bit longer. No, it's not. It's interesting. So... Yeah, but it does look different. So this is their one-piece titanium hotend. So this entire assembly up here, including the nozzle, etc., is all titanium. It's a single piece. Apparently there is a bit of a well, okay, let's go through this. So nozzle up front here, that's also titanium. Then there is this disc, which is the heater. Obviously thermistor is right in here. Disc here, then another counter nut, essentially this guy down here, right in there. Then we have a rubber O-ring, I guess it's a high temp one, then a heatsink, and then just the mount and filament throat, more or less. So essentially, just from this section downwards, that's what the actual hotend is. All this part up here, all this stuff up here is just supporting. So, yeah. That's this one. That's the new hotend. And we are getting a bit of Teflon tube with it. So, I'm thinking, I don't know, that the Y splitter is going to sit further up. We'll see. Okay, box, don't need that. We're getting an extra stepper motor, and these obviously are the same ones that the Atom uses everywhere else, which is, you know, a huge stepper motor. Just for size, I have relatively small hands, but yeah, this stepper motor is large. It's a really large one. This is a high inductance type, I assume. High inductance type, high torque, which works pretty well with the Texas Instruments DRV825 drivers, but not so well with other ones. Let's see, this looks like a second motor cable. 23.6 seconds delay. This is also on the low latency setting. I don't get it. All right, more extruder parts. This is the extruder idler lever, and yeah, that's it. Teflon guide. Does the original one have the same sort of Teflon guide in here? I will need to check that out. So if you look at both the, right, this way, that's how the extruder idlers. So this, I think, is the one that, no, this is the one that swivels. And this guy down here is the one that is fixed. These are apparently machined Teflon guys that wrap around the hopped gear really well. Interesting. And of course, in typical Atom fashion, all CNC machined and is it anodized? I think it's anodized. Aluminum. It's all really nicely made. What's this? What is this? We're getting another anodized aluminum profile, laser cut, apparently. Interesting, or machined. Plus this stuff. Are these covers for the V slot? We're gonna have to check that out. CR10, maybe someday I'm gonna get one of those from GearBest. We'll see. Cool, more wires. We're gonna check those out when we need them. And another extruder bracket set. So are we, apparently we are replacing both extruders here. Few screws and a second filament spool holder tab thing. And another one of those. Brackets. So more aluminum parts. This looks like a stepper mount. So I'm thinking this goes on top of the printer and holds an extruder, and here's another one of those. Yeah, maybe they're finally solving that spool unwinding issue. We will see. Okay, and this is definitely a new effector, a new carriage part. Kendama Gamer is asking Kenny. No, sorry, that is Kendama Game 3R. Gemthur. Can a Prometheus system work on a Repro Prusa i3? Probably it can. Most likely. That's a new hotend mount for the carriage. And there is another part for something. I still don't know what all these parts are. I have not read the manual yet. I try to do that live as usual. And again, that is not lasered. That is properly engraved. They are putting a lot of detail into making this thing look nice and professional, which I like, but it still has to work well too. That's like the big factor here. If it looks nice and doesn't work, that's worse than having something look horrible and still work well. So yeah, maybe I will try that dual extrusion Pokemon later today if we get it working. Maybe if I don't know, if the stream does not go well, then I might continue on tomorrow. So we are getting 2 new fan shrouds right there. So the Atom uses come on. The Atom uses a graphics card style radial blowers, and these have like a tiny slot or slit in the front of them, which should focus the Airstream a bit more. Let's see. By default, it does not have any sort of air focus system at all. So there's our 4th optical end stop for the carriage, I assume. A bit more Bowden, plus, wow, look at that. That one bended? Which one? Look at that. This is... That's an interesting carving job on the PTFE right there. Check that out. So that's, you know, carved down to like half thickness. Just open. So I'm thinking these go into the Y splitter part. We'll see. Plus a tiny Phillips 0 screwdriver. Okay, and this is the well, there's not a lot of stuff in here. The Atom Dual Extrusion Upgrade Kit, and that's just fasteners and stuff, but in a really nice box. So you're getting the 2nd stepper drivers plus a heatsink. Thankfully, not with that horrible foamy stuff they used in the last one. So fresh stepper driver. This looks interestingly soldered. Yeah, more springs for the spool mounts. And a few random fasteners and let's get this guy out of here. Come on, a few random fasteners, Bowden couplers for the filament feed tube, new drive gears. Wow, let's take a good look at these. Because drive gears are so easy to get wrong, but this one, well, this one does look good, gotta say. So the center part, obviously where it matters, that is very nice and sharp on the outside. You're widening up quite a bit, but again, the center is, yeah, the center is really nice and sharp. So that should grab on really well. It is rather large, so it's around the size of a, what is this, MK7 gear, so not the super tiny MK8 ones. But well, my work, we do have huge motors on here, so they should be able to pull this. What else? The actual Y splitter itself. Video is a bit choppy. I'm losing frames. Come on. The actual Y splitter itself. So this is just an aluminum part with the Atom phoned up there again. And those are those are 2mm screws. And we get 2 inputs with 2 threads and 1 larger output with a grub screw on the side. So that is interesting. I don't actually see any liner or any PEK parts that like the Prometheus system has in here. So it's going to be interesting to see how well this works. It just has the anodizing or coating all the way through. What about the programming electronics wise? You are getting a fresh firmware for this guy. This guy still runs the default. Oh, I should take the T back out. This guy still runs the default MKS Gen 1.4 based electronics, which is a Marlin based board, which runs an Atmega 2560. So yeah, flash a new firmware on there and it should be good to go. Plus, of course, new slicer profiles, and those contain all the necessary changes in the software to make this work. So yes, retraction based would be the way to call this. I don't get it. 280 people watching, that's below average view counts. I guess I did really mess up that that stream start. But well, let's carry on. Dropped frames. Why dropped frames though? We're only at 85% CPU. All right, let's see, instructions. Assembly manual online, adam3dp.com/support. Let's check that out. So there's that business card format, info card, and that's where we're gonna head to check out our assembly instructions. So let's hope this side is back up, because yesterday when I tried it, all we got was well, I'm sorry, but this page is currently down. Let's see. Nope. Adam 2.5 dual extrusion upgrade kit assembly manual PDF. Ah, Google Drive. Okay. Extruder system 1, electronics glass print bed. Glass print bed? That's okay. What? Okay, so we don't have. I could also just use like the zoom buttons down here. Ah, that makes sense. So pneumatic connector T, top connector, we don't have that. Cable 2, we also don't have that. Magnetic rods, parts upgrade. So I don't think this is the exact one that we have. Remove and keep. Ah, remove and keep. So these are the old ones. Okay. Let's see if we can. If you can skip forward and see. Is clickable? No. And double check the parts that we got. Yeah, that looks better. That looks more like the parts that we have. Okay, let's just follow that guide. It's Easter. Yeah, it's a holiday. People are off work. That's what I'm thinking. Okay, we need assembly parts. PTFE tube and filament junction connect. Filament junction connector. Ah, this guy. Okay, so we do have this guy right here. This is, threaded on one side and, with some sort of groove on the other. Looks like a part of the hot end, but it might be titanium. It's too light to be stainless, and the color doesn't match what aluminum looks like. So that's an interesting look. Does anyone know any other dual extruders but one hot end type of things? Yes, Prometheus system and the Prusa setup. Those are the ones that yeah, are similar. Keep pressing the wrong buttons. There we go. Remove old parts. Ah. Okay, so we take off one of the covers. We take off the entire hotend assembly, the entire wire loom, and the extruder. And then we disassemble the bed. Okay, let's get to that then. And that's one of the feet. Okay. One thing to note is that this one is showing the non-heated bed version that only has the 2 lower V-slot beams. Mine actually has the 3rd one down here, and this is the extra height that it needs to house the larger power supply, or to integrate the power supply into the frame. Typically the Atom only has an external power supply that plugs in over here, and that guy just lives outside the printer frame, and it doesn't need the extra space down here. So yeah. Tungsten? What? All right. So let's disassemble a bit of. Did I say tungsten? Titanium. Okay, let's disassemble some stuff. So guess let's rotate it that way. And the parts I'm gonna move over here just because that's usually the spot where they are out of the way. And I guess we'll grab parts as we need them. Can you mod to print chocolate? Depends on what sort of setup you are looking at. But like this one, the chocolate usually uses a heated syringe paste extruder style type thing. This one doesn't really have, well, I guess it has the space, just ow! Out the top here, you could put some sort of a syringe extruder. Look at Ritrap's work. He did a nice paste extruder sometime, and that might be a nice base to you know, build your own from. Notification does go to people then. Notification, Mr. Proof, notification for this exact stream or for the wrong one? Because what I think happened in the beginning of this stream was I still had OBS Studio set up to stream, or to send the video feed to the Stream Now feature of YouTube, where it just instantly creates a stream as soon as it gets the video feed. And that might have sent out a notification to a few people. But of course that was still titled correctly for Simone Fontana's stream from the Sweden 3D printing meetup. So that's what some people saw, but usually these sort of streams that are, I guess, a bit more long form than the ones I do on the Tom's 3D Live channel, these are usually just the planned event function of YouTube. So yeah. Video notification has come through just before the stream. Just before the stream? That is weird. I don't think YouTube works that way. Or does it? Anycubic, don't have it, have not tested it, have not tried it. Don't have an opinion on it, as usual. So, first Atom shell part, these things. They are, so just a quick feedback after using this guide for a bit. So these shells that go on the printer sides like that, these have a very rough anodized finish. So typically, like the anodized the finish on these beams is very smooth, very slick, but these are almost like a very fine sandpaper. So if I take a fingernail and just, you know, rub it against it, you can see those marks. You can instantly see where you've rubbed against this profile, and it's not like it's a permanent mar. It's just, you know, it rubs off a lot of things. So still missing video frames. There's not a lot I can do about that right now. I will have to look at the recording to check that out. Where do I store this? Maybe here. Yeah. but the setup hasn't changed versus what I did. Well, maybe it has. No, the setup hasn't changed versus what I did just earlier on the second channel. It's still the exact same setup. Maybe a bit higher bitrate, but not really. I might have missed a stream tip from Jakob Westhoff, but thank you for that. Stream is a bit choppy. What? Okay, this guy came off. Next up, we are removing the extruder. And again, this is an issue for me as a short-ish guy. Like I can barely see over this guy. I'm barely tall enough to see up here. Maybe if you lay it down again, but then it's gonna rub on the... whatever. Let's just flip it down on its side. Those guys are still very sharp. You have so many questions? Cool, extruder is coming off. This is not the most robust setup right now, but no, it's what we can handle right now. Would the Prusa multi-extrusion work on a rep 1? What is a rep 1? Are you referring to a rep machine, or are you referring to the rep 1? Because I don't know of a rep 1 3D printer. But most likely with a bit of firmware work, I think it should still work. It's, you know, there's nothing proprietary about the process. So remove the glass plate. Nah, that's clipped on pretty, or held down pretty well, so not worrying about that. And we are removing the entire carriage assembly. On a standard Repro Prusa. Yeah, I guess it should. Mostly just a thing of firmware and software, but mechanically there's not much stopping you from doing that. Okay, can we unplug this somehow? Yes, we can. The Sweden stream, yeah. No, am I streaming wireless? No, I am plugged in to gigabit Ethernet, so that shouldn't be an issue. Unless Windows just decides to use Ethernet again, but... Oops, there it goes. Yeah, so the PEI video, I got a few comments saying, for the love of God, don't use acetone on PEI, which I never really thought about that much, because I always thought like PEI was like super resistant to everything. But apparently PEI does get a bit less resistant to acetone, etc. if you heat it above a certain threshold. So if you go to above 70 degrees, 70 degrees Fahrenheit, that was the one number I saw. That's when you are going to start running into issues. Okay, so this is coming off completely. I think we still need the motor. Yeah, okay, and this original aluminum hub gear is also going. That's good. By the way, big thanks to the €55 tip from Anonymous, thanking me for being a great online and 3D printing personality. What? Since when am I a great online personality? That's news, but thank you. The 50-second video just released. Yeah, gosh, I gotta fix so many things at the same time. That's the live stream recording. Let's get rid of that. Delete. Yes, deleted. So many things to do after clicking one button wrong. Okay, so down here we get to remove this. Oh yeah, this is very bottom heavy right now. And that's the LCD screen. I don't know if I actually want to set it on that. Not safe. But it looks like it's holding up. So, okay, that's going to be scaring me a few more times. This guy's coming out. I usually do put like either blue tape or packing tape over the bottom of these feet, because as you can see, well, okay, this is with the acrylic adhesive, but as you can see with this tape right here, it did pull off quite a nasty, well, let's move back. It did pull off quite a nasty bit of the rubber foot right there. And usually I'm worried if I put that down onto like a bright surface, it is going to mar it up. It is just going to leave marks. And yeah, just putting some regular packing tape over those feet does, get out of here, does take care of that. So hex key right there. Actually have a personality. Okay. I learn something new every day. Any ideas to stop warping of nylon post print? Stop warping post print. I do not understand, unfortunately. Get over here. There we go. So we are removing the extruder. Yes, we are removing the hotend. We also removed all 6 delta rods. The filament guide is going to come off. The 1 foot plus the glass bed. Okay, let's keep removing stuff until we get everything out of here. Are the deltas better than Cartesians? No, they are not. On the same token, Cartesians aren't better than deltas. It's just you know, it's different tastes. It's different use cases. Deltas are good at printing like really tall stuff, and Cartesians are good at printing really large stuff. Yeah, you can't really. Both can be really good. Both can be amazing machines, or amazing type of machines if you build them right. It's the usual thing I say every time, but that's the way I see it. Deltas can go fast, yes, but Cartesian machines can go fast as well. So, you know, it depends on how well you build them. They don't have like an inherent better or worse trade-off between them. One is not always better than the other. No, the Prusa Mark 42 heat bed is unfortunately not available on AliExpress or anywhere else yet. I know I'm a huge tease, but that's just the way it is. Which nylon is the easiest to print? I'm probably not the guy to ask about that. The thing is, for me, most filaments are just easy to print in general, because I've really learned how to print all the different materials. So if you give me like nylon bridge or carbon filled nylon carbonate, etc., or 910, which is also a nylon based material, I'm just gonna go, ah, yeah, okay, let's print this. Change this setting. Okay, now it's coming out great. It's I can't really judge which is easier, which is harder. It's mostly about which one has the better suggested or default profiles for your machine. And yeah, most of them print really well. By the way, is Nightbot not here? Nightbot? Hello? Nightbot? So these nuts, we can maybe slide them out. Right, so we are missing the rear foot right here, so this does, you know, pivot down. Sound activated? What? Apparently Nightbot is not here yet. Okay, this guy is gone. The extruder up here is gone. There's still like the wires dangling out. I'm not sure if you get to reuse these or add a few more. We're just gonna see. Okay, let's check back with the manual. See, okay, so we are removing this, got this. Okay, the opposite part over here as well, right there. And the bed comes off too, so. That should be a relatively easy upgrade. This one is coming out. Get set on with the rest. And this bracket over here also comes out. I can barely see what I'm doing. The usual question, why am I keeping the filament out in the open and why is it not degrading? This room does have a dehumidifier in it, so I am keeping the humidity down as much as I can. Also, I'm only keeping PLA and ABS out in the open. ABS maybe a bit less than the PLAs. But both of those are not really sensitive to moisture as much as a PVA, a PTG, or a nylon is. PTGs are also somewhat susceptible to absorbing ambient humidity, but they don't show it as much as a nylon, for example. Oh, I could just lift this guy out. Cool. Got all of that. Sorry. Got all of that removed. Hold on. Are we also supposed to remove this entire heated bed platform? Apparently. Yeah, because right now, because right here this is just a plain bed that covers the bottom. Okay, so this is all coming out as well. So let's do that. Prusa style or Delta. But again, both can work. I don't care how they are, how they, you know, how their motion system looks like, as long as they are built well and work well. Either one can work. But Prusa style is like the, yeah, we can do it easily, because you don't need to stack axes in a very specific way, like for example the Ultimaker does. Delta obviously has its own type of philosophy where you have 3 identical axes. By the way, this printer is properly crooked right now. Deltas have a different philosophy where there are 3 identical axes, but yeah, as usual, either one can work. Cool, so we need a small hex key for the heated bed right there. Bring that in here. Do I share a love for hips as Jigger Pepe does? Well, hips is, in my experience, very similar to print and to, well, similar in printing properties and in mechanical properties to ABS for the most part. You know, it has its own up and downsides, and I don't think it's any better, any worse. I don't know. If you get good ABS, then that's worth a lot. I've been printing a lot with the verbatim ABS, their own type, and that stuff has been really good to me. That prints really nice, really creamy, and yeah, still stays very crisp, and I like that. But other ABSs have just been barely usable, if at all. So yeah, Repra Pro Do It. I do have the Do It Wi-Fi. Okay, we do have the bottom removed, we have the rear removed right here, and we have the top extruder and filament brackets removed, so we should be good to go and move on. So extruder motor wire moves to the 5th socket, so let's do that. So that's this one back here, which you probably can't see, but this is the best angle I have, I'm sorry. So this guy gets moved back here, and this one isn't in here super tight, but it's the best we got. Remove old parts. We already removed all these. Remove and keep. Cool. Do I like magnetic joints? If they work, if they are tight enough, then yes, they can work. Remove the Bowden tube as well. Well, we'll remove the entire motor. Okay, so we need the stepper motor. We're getting the new gear, obviously, and we're getting the new extruder levers, mount parts, and we are keeping remove. This guy gets removed completely. Okay, so let's disassemble that guy. Yes, just to recap, because apparently there was a bit of an issue with starting the stream and getting everyone on board. We are taking the Atom 2, it actually says on the video title, just read that. But yeah, we are taking the Atom 2.0 and upgrading it to the 2.5EX, which is the modernized dual extrusion version, which yeah, has a few upgrades through the board. Does a few things differently, and has 2 extruders that feed into the same hotend. So it's a full-blown dual extrusion setup. Yeah. With a single hotend, which means you are getting pretty much the same advantages as with the Prusa multi-material upgrade or with the Prometheus system, which is no offsets between one material and the other. No hotend calibration, no nothing. But you might have a few downsides when it comes to like which materials you can mix when they have super different properties or different temperatures. But we're gonna have to try it out. Add Nightbot. Nightbot does not respond to ads. I could actually log in. Thank you for the tips, Miggy Man Mike. Today's beer suggestion: Magic Rocks High Wire Grapefruit IPA. That sounds weird. Thanks for the tip. And Thanks for the €4.71 from Chica Pepe. Probably supposed to be pronounced differently. Do we have a small hex key around here somewhere? I'm hoping this one isn't worn out already. So the original item came with an aluminum hobbed gear, which I think was a pretty horrible decision in the long run. Mine isn't. Mine is still reasonably sharp, but these will just wear down, and the new ones come with the with stainless steel ones, as far as I can tell. Might also be titanium, but I'm thinking they're just stainless steel. Much more sensible choice. So this guy is coming off, and I don't think I'm ever gonna use this guy ever again. So yeah, good thing they upgraded. Well, let's not put that with the new parts. Let's put that with the old parts that we're not gonna reuse. So motor, again, really heavy duty one. Let's see, we got the motor extracted. Got the levers out of here. Do we need the coupler? We might need to keep it. Oh, I just pulled off the I just pulled the pneumatic coupler apart. That's not great. Yeah, okay, still works, thankfully. So yeah, this little nub up here, yep, right there, got unstuck. My fault, my bad. So this guy's coming off. I should just grab a. Oh wow! Should just grab a hex key, a hex key. Spanner, and we should be good. A wrench, depending on where in the world you're from. Okay, got that extracted, got the small printed tensioner saved. The screw, so these levers, let's compare them. These are the old ones, and the new ones are right over here. I have one half, and there's the other. So old ones just plain aluminum with like the countersunk filament hole right there. 1, 2 plus the idler in here, and the new ones. So that's the top of this one. New one, same spot for the idler gear, but. And same general shape, but now they have these Teflon guides that are cut to fit around these, around the idler gear or the idler bearing and the motor itself. So that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool, and it should be a good improvement down the road. Thank you for the £5 tip, J Stanley. Stanley, yeah, great channeling inside. I'm hoping it is. I'm hoping it is. Hi to the Czech Republic. Cool, so this part right here we are going to remove entirely. So yeah, this is the old extruder motor mount. This is going because we have these new angled brackets right here. These two guys. Goodbye. Okay, extruder is disassembled. Parts are saved. Remove and keep aluminum foot ring. Aluminum? Are these aluminum? Oh yeah, they are. They are. Aluminum foot ring washer is removed. Then we're going to keep the washers and the foot and the screws. So we're actually going to remove and keep all of these parts from the aluminum foot. Just the aluminum foot itself with the screw in here, 2 washers, a spacer, a washer, and another washer. Good evening to you to the UK as well. And happy Easter. Right. Use a box to support the frame. It's too late for that. Let's see if that is going to be necessary down the road. Remove old parts. Remove and keep pneumatic connector, cable, tube, effector tension spring. Effector tension spring. Where is that? Ooh, do we... Wait a second. I don't have that spring. I do not have that spring. Is the new version available already? Yes, it actually... I think it has been for a while. Okay, so they... Let's check this out. There we go. So this is the effector we have or had on there. That worked pretty well. And you know, if we push up the hot end, you can kind of see it, you know, moving up there. Yeah, there you go. And this is the deprobe mechanism. It touches down with the actual hot end tip, lifts up this entire upper half, and triggers this micro switch that is connected right there. And the idea is that, you know, this entire bottom part to this machined aluminum part is fixed, is rigid, and only this upper steel part or steel sheet metal part flexes up. The one that I'm seeing right there has an additional spring in here, which, let's try to hold it similarly. Okay, so this is mirrored, which I don't have. We'll connect right there, so I don't think I get to remove those. Let's see, but same principle. Unscrew these. Oh yeah, we got the wrenches with the printer. I don't know where I have those though. Okay, let's get the let's get this guy out of here. And same problem here. I also took off the coupler ring right there, because they are okay. So this guy right here, and this tensioner that you see on a lot of Bowden printers, this guy apparently got caught in this cable tube. Guess I can also remove the Bowden tube first. So I was printing Extruder Austrian PETG filament before. I guess I should have removed that first, but we can just cold pull it. Well, it's not a real cold pull. It's but it just came out pretty well by itself. Let's see. You have the 2.5, not the 2.0. I'm using the wrong manual. Am I though? .5 extrusion upgrade kit assembly manual. 2.0 dual extrusion upgrade kit assembly. I'm guessing it's mostly the same steps. Does it say what this pack is? Ah, it's the dual extrusion upgrade kit for 2.0. Ah, that makes sense. That makes sense. What size is mine? What, the size of the printer, or what dimension are you asking for? of mine. Yeah, so this one I guess will make a bit more sense, maybe? But so far, what? What? Why are we removing all? Why are we removing so much? Okay, let's try and refollow this guy. So remove this. I'm guessing we do disconnect everything in here. So thermistor comes out. And okay, this is hardwired. I can't really move this guy. Yours is not that big, but goes real fast. Yeah, that's the advantage of these smaller ones. You have a lot less mass to move around, and yeah, can get a lot more material out in less time. Remove the heated bed. Heated bed power. Remove. I'm guessing we're just tearing down everything. And the panel is back here, of course, so you're gonna take a seat right there for a second, and we are unscrewing you. Can't really see anything because reiterate what we are upgrading. We are upgrading the Atom 3D printer, the Atom 2.0, to a dual extrusion setup with a 2-in, 1-out hot end. Stay here. And then this guy should just come out, more or less. So power in right there, that's AC mains power. We've got a USB extension cord and the power switch. But we can't really disconnect this yet. We do have to get into the bottom of this machine where the power supply lives. And there are a lot of loose bits right now to this machine, which I don't like. Don't like at all. Okay, down here we have the Meanwell power supply, which is getting removed in its entirety. So we do have to disconnect all of this because the, like this panel right here is hardwired to the power supply. Yes, it is going to use the same mainboard. It is going to use the same MKS based board, but are these? These are not the fork type ones. These are the continuous loop type ones. Come on. Yeah, it's going to use the same board. It's getting an extra stepper driver, and that's pretty much it. It is going to use, well, okay, different hot end, but the same hot end outputs, only a single hot end output required. No grounding. Yes, I did actually measure the... That's true. That is true. I did actually measure the voltage we were getting from the printer's frame to protective earth, and it was like 110 volts AC, which I measured how much current we got, and it was like 86, 87 microamps within the margin of error of my multimeter. So it's not a huge deal. It does feel like a MacBook when you charge it. Those also don't have a ground connectors, so you do get that capacitive coupling to the frame, but it is insulated from mains, so yeah, probably not all too legal around these parts, because as far as I know, everything that just has a metal frame needs to be grounded. That's how I learned it. But unless something shorts out in the power supply, and it shouldn't be a huge deal. So if we disconnect the SSR in here, good thing I already removed the glass. If we disconnect the SSR in here, we can actually take out the, get over here, the heated bed and the heated bed bottom. So there's the Adams heated bed, aluminum on a PCB heater. So easy to ground the frame from an IEC plug. That is actually correct. That's super easy to do. Just go from right here, from the ground connector to the frame. Should be really easy to add. I think I even have everything. What is my favorite printer build? You're not going to expect this because I didn't build it live on stream, but the Printable Play, that thing was a lot of fun to build. Just manual, well written. The steps were all nicely laid out. The parts were just clicking together. But it still felt like you were building something and not just, you know, building Legos that are just made for each other. It's still a good process. That's probably still my favorite printer to build. Printable Play. I get a lot of crap for that because it's like a $400 printer where you can get Chinese kits for less that are better on paper, but still I like that. And I do like the printer itself too, so yeah. That would be my favorite printer build. Okay, we are removing the entire subframe right here. That's the job. Quick question to everyone. Well, we do have to remove all the feet. That's great. Quick question to those of you in the States or in other countries. Is tomorrow a holiday for you guys as well? Today's obviously Sunday, so people typically aren't working, but Easter Monday probably has a name. Is that like an official holiday for you guys? Because I think it is here in Germany. I think, not that I would care as a self-employed guy. I don't have any holidays anyways, but yeah, it'd be nice to know. Bank holiday, okay. Normal Monday, yes, in Spain. Working in Taiwan. Guys, it's the Republic China. It's not Taiwan. Okay, now we can take out these 3 screws right here to remove the lower frame, the additional bed frame. Yeah, no, like all over Europe, it's pretty much an official holiday. Patriots Day. Oh, that's nice. 4-day long weekends here in Austria. Is that Austria or Australia? We call it Ostermontag? Yeah, probably. Easter Monday. And this just comes clean off. I mean, this looks... did we actually assemble this on it by itself? Because this sort of looks cool, just having the power supply in a subframe right there. Yeah. Kind of nice. Okay, and there is the original electronic subframe right there. I don't know why I removed that, but we're gonna find out pretty soon. When am I getting an A? When? Well, when Gearbest managed to ship one. No, Bo. Okay. Taiwan is called the Republic China by some parties. It's not the People's Republic of China. It's just the Republic of China. Or it's not the Republic of China. It's just Republic China. Is it? I don't know. Whatever. Pretty sure you have a 2.5. I do have a 2.0. I'm pretty sure I do. The supports on the columns. Which ones? I don't know, but this is the upgraded 2.0 with a heated bit, so it's not entirely stock. Let's see what else we get to disassemble. So bottom frame is out, heated bed power is out, power supply is out, bed is out. Ah, the shell, that's what you're talking about. Yeah, that was an optional upgrade on the 2.0. The bed is out. Blowers. Remove what? Remove the entire wire? Okay. Okay. Yeah, I guess we are getting new tool head. And we are getting new wires, that's correct. Remove end stop thermal sensor extruder motor. Okay. Okay, so let's get to disassembling this stuff. I guess I can sit... Well, if I sit it down on these, it's probably... No, okay, the screws are going to stick out. Just wondering, if I sit it down on this surface, is it going to cut off these end stop wires? But we have these screws sticking out, so it is going to be fine. Didn't I say I don't like printers that need mods to be a good printer? So a review on a printer that needs mods would not be advised. It's not that I don't like them. There is a very legitimate market, a very legitimate use case for printers that need mods. My first printers were all printers that needed mods. I built an original Prusa i2 back then. Well, it wasn't even the i2. And I built a Salesmendel before that. And those were definitely not printers that worked well out of the box. The problem I have with those is I can't review them in a neutral fashion because there are pretty much infinite options or infinite ways you can modify your printer and turn it into these different things. There isn't like this official version that I can say, okay, this is, let's call them by the name. This is the official TiVo Black Widow. This is the official ANET A8. No, it is your interpretation of that machine that you are going to be looking at, and it's going to be my interpretation of that machine that I will be reviewing, because out of the box, I don't think they work that well. So yeah, it's just not, it's not machines that I can review as a manufacturer's product. I can sort of review them as a platform, as what you can use them for, but then again, every printer, every 3D printer is a platform you can turn into whatever you want it to be. So yeah, I hope that clarifies that a bit. Electronics. Remove, we got that. Remove the blower fans. Ceramic heating plates. Okay. let's get those out of here. So we have these couplers right here that I used. Vago-klemmen. No, hold on, these aren't Vago-klemmen, but they are also made by Vago. These sort of main spring connectors that we use. And these are the part cooling fan wires right here. Where is my small screwdriver? There it is. So these go out. And, well, okay, these are part of the big wire bundle that goes up to here. So I can't really remove those yet. End stops, thermal sensor, remove. Remove extruder motor, remove end stops, remove thermal sensor. Okay. So thermal sensor, let's get this one out of here as well. I'm guessing we're just going to be able to pull out this entire wire loom from the printer right there. That's the end stop. Something else that we extended. Okay, extruder motor, remove, 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 remove. We got that. Wait, so we are still using that? Okay, interesting. Cable tube. We got all that completed. So let's disassemble the tool head. Yes, I am doing the new end stops. I am adding the my screwdriver. I am adding the optical end stops, which are 4 in total. X, Y, Z, and the stay here. X, Y, Z, and the one on the tool head itself. Is it there? Okay, we are taking out the fans. We are removing that. Upper hotend windshield, we pull that out. That's going to be interesting. Okay. So essentially most of this stuff is coming out. So I guess we do get to disconnect. Well, the fans we'll see. But the hotend is definitely coming out. So that will be these screws up here. These screws down there. And the ones on the top not? Okay, so only the ones on the bottom that remove this this heat shield right here, this stainless steel shield. Interesting. And that does require the tiny hex key. And we do need some needle nose pliers to hold those tiny M2 nuts. What's the point in Delta printers? They have, depending on how you build them, they are less prone to some of the artifacts you are seeing in Cartesian printers typically. And you can build them tall. Plus, they look cool. They sound nice when you use them. Yeah, that's pretty much it. What part am I upgrading? I am upgrading the entire printer to new end stops and a dual extrusion kit. Will I revisit the Prusa clone build? Yes, of course. I'm pretty much committed to maintaining that machine. As I said in the last video of that Prusa clone build, upgrades. Yes, that's what's happening, and I am planning on upgrading quite a bit on that machine. Like upgrade it to where it's actually a as close of a clone to the original one as possible, because right now it's, yes, it is a Prusa Mark II, but it is not the Prusa Mark II. Get out of here. Come on. Why are you not coming out? Here we go. Okay, that is slightly bent. I might need to bend that back into shape. So now the hotend is trapped in here. But I guess we get to remove that next. So windshield is removed. Okay, now we disassemble the rest. Okay, so basically take out all the screws. Nice. Why do we only take out the two in the bottom from the fans there? I do not know. But let's disassemble the rest as well. Ever heard of HE3D? I think I've heard of them, yes, but I can't tell you how reliable or unreliable they are. Yeah. Get over here. You should get stepper motors with the rod attached like the original, so with the integrated lead screw. Yeah, if I could find them for a decent price. Now, the original one has the 8mm pitch lead screws, which is the original Prusa, that is. Which, first of all, those lead screws are basically impossible to find. Second of all, finding a stepper motor with those integrated is you know, just not happening. At least not for a decent price. So I don't think I'm gonna be able to like downright do that without actually ordering the upgrade kit from Prusa himself. But like do an integrated lead screw, maybe as a comparison versus the coupled ones. That might be something to look into. Let's get disconnected. So this is a lot of disassembly and a lot of, you know, stripping it down to the basics again on this machine. Yes, the mechanics are staying in place. The mechanics are staying basically identical for the most part. But like most of the core of this 3D printer is coming out. Should you go for a 32-bit board? Depends. Okay, more tiny screws. The laptop is going crazy over there. Can these pliers grip these nuts? Yes, they can. Barely, but they can. Now, 32 versus 8-bit isn't just about Wi-Fi for me. Yes, Wi-Fi and having a web interface is nice. Wi-Fi or Ethernet in that case. That's nice, that's a good feature. It's also about performance, because typically they give you a lot more megahertz than what 8-bit boards give you. These Atmegas run on 16 megahertz, some run on 20, but that's the exception. And for a Cartesian machine that doesn't do anything else other than, you know, running 4 axes, that's pretty much enough. 4 axes plus a few PID loops. It can handle that, but like as soon as you throw in like higher microstepping, 128 times microstepping, or even 32 times microstepping, throwing an LCD with that, or you know, some other functionality, an 8-bit board is just going to give up. It just does not have the resources to run more than the basic functionality. And like, yeah, if you just need a basic board, an 8-bit one is going to work fine. But as soon as you need the tiniest bit more, you are going to run into those performance walls. Typically though, 8-bit is fine as long as you're not building a Delta. All right, so we have the effector stripped down pretty much. All that's left now is the upper frame right here that hinges and triggers the end stop. Can we remove that? Yes, but we need a ball end hex key. Which is somewhere, but not where I expected it to be. There it is. Oh, gosh, these are tight. Can you print flexible filament on a Bowden setup? You can print like these semi-flexibles, like the 95A. Is it 95A? Yeah. Like Engine Flex, ColorFab Engine Flex, that sort of stuff. You can print on a Bowden, on a 1.75 millimeter Bowden. For anything softer, I'd say you do probably need a direct drive setup or a 2.85 millimeter extruder. You can't really print that on a 1.75 millimeter Bowden. Okay, let's also take the end stop out because we are replacing that one. Polyflex, yeah, I think Polyflex is around that 95A hardness. I do have some over there. It's one of the what I'd call semi-flex materials because it's not as flexible as NinjaFlex or Filaflex. Filaflex is like one of the very flexible ones, and those are definitely impossible to print on a 1.75 millimeter Bowden. Chris Riley, don't adjust your stepper drivers by voltage unless you know exactly what you're doing, because every stepper driver has its own reference voltages. Even if it's A4988 versus A4988 drivers, not all of them are made the same, and for some the same voltage will mean twice or 4 times the current that it does for others. So don't use voltage unless you know exactly which driver you're adjusting for. Adjust to where you get enough torque, but don't overheat your drivers and you're going to be fine. Okay, everything is disassembled. Everything is apart here. So well, I guess this guy will need to come out too. Let's see. This is the effector itself with the adjustment screw for the trigger. Triggers the Z end stop. Let's see. Okay, the fan is coming out as well. That's these 2 screws. Remove and keep. Remove. counterclockwise, remove. We did all of that. Okay. Let's also get this small fan out of here, and this guy should be done. This, what is this? Oh, that's a problem. This guy is broken. This guy is falling apart. See that? This guy is... I don't know if this is wear from vibrations or something, but there's not a lot holding this guy together. I might need to fix this with a bit of super glue magic. That's not good. How do you add someone? You just write add someone. We're doing SCARA movements with a 32-bit board be better than an 8-bit board. It's not going to be as much of a difference as with deltas, but yes. The problem with hot glue here is this guy does get a bit warm, so... Okay, disassembled that. Fan. Up in the box. And the screws go into another tiny box, because these M2 nuts, these are really tiny. These are actually tiny. There you go. Yeah, 2.85 Bowden does extrude pretty much everything. I've printed Filaflex, and I've showed that on the earlier streams, but this is Spanish filament, Recreus filament, Filaflex. I've printed this on a Sigma successfully. You do need to go a bit slower, yes, but you know, this is 2.85 and it is properly flexible filament. So yeah, Filaflex. That kind of flexibility prints on a 2.85 Bowden. So don't be surprised if your Ultimaker actually does print this sort of stuff. It's just 1.75 that has a few issues. Do we have tutorials on Fusion 360? No, I don't, because I'm not using Fusion 360. Let's see. So all this bottom stuff right here is removed. Stepper motor is removed. Extruder is disassembled. T-nuts are taken out. What? Aluminum feet are removed, so we do get to pull out this entire wire loom. So let's do that. This is the extruder heater that's still connected right here. And there we go, entire wire loom removed, and we are not going to reuse that. Any tips on using Simplify 3D? I'm not using it. I'm using Cure and SlickFury. So I can't really give you any tips there. Maybe look at Maker's Muse channels. He's doing a lot of sponsored guides on Simplify 3D. So that might be a good start. Or check with Simplify 3D themselves. There you go. Wires removed, feet are removed. Hot end parts. Parts. Okay, reassembly. All right, but thank you for the $5, Chris Riley. Yes. Kickprog, you can only that's like the one downside with the Y feeder options, like this one, like the Pusha upgrade, like the Prometheus system. Similar temperatures. The hot ends are relatively quick. Don't underestimate how quickly they can change temperatures. But you shouldn't be printing like a 280-degree polycarbonate with a 195-degree PVA. That's just not going to end well. But similar materials. Also, like I wouldn't be mixing a PLA with an ABS or with a PETG. I would stick with same materials, maybe PVA, maybe, and also like white and black. Black also really likes to linger in a hot end, and you have to extrude a lot of material to get all that color out. There are a few smart software options that can do that without wasting a lot of material on prime towers, but yeah, that's all still very immature. Have I tried E3D scaffold? I do have a spool, but I've not tried it yet. But guys, this is gonna be it for today. We've got the entire disassembly done. This printer is pretty much stripped to its bones. This is the Atom in its purest form. We are going to continue, well, modifying, upgrading this guy tomorrow. Hopefully announce the stream properly. But yeah, thanks everyone for joining in today who found the stream. I'm gonna see you all tomorrow. Stay subscribed, and if you want to join in on more casual live streams, check out the Tom's 3D live channel that is linked not in the video description, but on the main channel page and on a few other places as well. That's for more casual live stream stuff that isn't maybe a full upgrade, but just working on stuff like rebuilding this guy to this original board from the Smoothie firmware or from the Smoothie board was streamed there. But yeah, that's gonna be it for today. Thank you for watching. I will see you all, hopefully all, tomorrow. Goodbye.